You just downloaded Ableton, or maybe you downloaded Ableton in the past, but it was so overwhelming and you got so scared that you just immediately quit it out of the program and just forgot about it, or try to forget about it. Well, I've been at that point too, so I can show you that it's really not that hard to start using this. That's why I decided to make this quick tutorial where I show you the basics of Ableton, basically just to make every beginner survive their first day on Ableton, because there might be potentially a whole career lying behind this for you, a beautiful future. So with that being said, let's dive straight into Ableton. If you just downloaded it, the chances are that you will have this in front of you, which is even more intimidating than it should be. Forgot to put my headphones on. Where's the motherfucking thing? Oh, this isn't the right one. Motherfucker. Even me, I'm 2 years into this and I'm still making these type of mistakes like you saw. Ready, set, go. So you're in this set which sounds like this. But this is not what we want. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna press Control or Command N, the N of banana. You will see something like this. Now it's still intimidating, but it's gonna make sense, I swear. The only thing that you should care about when starting on in Ableton is this little section right here. What you should know is that you also may have been redirected to a page that looks more like this. If you are in this particular section, just press the tab key and it will redirect to the most easy section of Ableton. You probably just want to make a beat right off the bat, so that's what we're gonna do. Be careful, Ableton is a little bit unintuitive when it comes to beginners because it says instruments, but these things aren't really instruments. The thing where you need to start off is sounds. You're gonna have less instruments than me, that's normal, okay? But if there's nothing in this place, something went wrong in the installation, you probably need to reinstall Ableton or even just restart your computer. That's the first thing you should do, always do, restart it. All these instruments are neatly organized in groups. For instance, a guitar, you probably all know a guitar, so we're gonna head into this section for now. Now we're on the right track. You can left click on one of these instruments to hear, preview what they sound like. So we're gonna go ahead and do that. Alright, that sounds alright. You can start with that, but it surely is, there's no need. I just remember that I used this instrument in the beginning, so I'm gonna pick this. Now, by double clicking, it's gonna bring it in to this section below. Now, you need to know is that all these triangles are icons where you can click on the icons and it will bring up or hide a section. You can press this triangle and then you will just have your instrument tab, for instance. Don't worry about it. It comes naturally over time, I swear. This tab right here leads to the session view, which we don't want. We want the arrangement view. This is what it's called. And then if you want to hide or unhide sections, you just press this triangle and see what it brings up. Now, if you don't have a section in the left below, I highly recommend you press this triangle because it will bring up an info view. Whatever you will hover over with your mouse, it will tell what it is. So that's the help view. I'm just gonna hide it. For me, it's not relevant. You're probably wondering, how do I even start making a beat? The most easy way to start off a beat is with the melody. Now you're probably wondering, where is it that I can create a melody? Well, it's right here on this arrangement view. We're gonna left click and drag over this section, and then we're gonna press Control Shift M or Command Shift M. It immediately automatically brought up the page where we can drag our notes in. Now, if you want to change your instrument, don't worry, you can still change this. You can change this whenever. You do this by clicking in the right bottom corner where it says Kodo. You just click on that and we're back in our instruments section. So this section is where our sound is created. This section is where we're gonna choose which notes the instrument is gonna play. We're gonna start off by double clicking it in. So double click, now we have a note. You can play it by pressing on your space bar. You just played your first note in Ableton. It really is that easy. You can say, yeah, George, this is okay, but I want more of a longer note. Well, you hover over the end of your note and you drag it to where you need it to be. If you're gonna start experimenting with making melodies, the sooner you're gonna realize that making melodies really isn't that easy. The reason why your melody sounds trash is probably because you're not using the right notes. Now, I don't recommend starting off learning music theory. Just know this: when you're gonna apply this little melody trick, your melodies are gonna be instantly way easier to make. If you have your first note, for instance, I placed a C, you go 2 steps above that. So I'm gonna take that and I'm gonna place it around here and I'm gonna extend it. We're gonna listen to what it sounds like. That's not too bad, alright? So maybe you wanna complicate it, that's okay. But if you wanna go for a sad feel, it's way better to just put that note down. So what we did is we took this note, we went 2 steps up, then 1 step up. Then what you're gonna do is we're gonna go another 2 steps above that. So that's this note. And now I'm gonna do that just one more time like this. And then I'm gonna add another note. You might be intimidated by all the notes there are. Well, actually, it's way less intimidating than it seems. You know, if you scroll down, you can see that this goes down a lot. By a lot, it's C-2, whatever that means. Or you just go up, 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 and then you're gonna see C8, and you're gonna think like, what? There are like 112 notes. Well, not really. There are just 12 notes. 12 notes. That's all there is, and they just repeat over and over and over again. If you go up an octave, which means that, for instance, I'm gonna take a G note, extend it, and I draw another G note over here. I have 2 times the same note. The only difference is that this G the frequency will go twice as fast as the other one. So we're gonna go back to our notes. If you don't see your notes, don't worry. Just click on this, but keep your finger on there. So hold click, then drag to the left. What it's gonna do is it's gonna bring up the whole view and you're gonna see where your notes are. Hold click and drag to the left. And now I can see my notes again. So we're gonna listen to it. Now it sounds like this. What the easiest thing that you can do now is press Ctrl A. You're gonna press Ctrl D or Command D. Now you're gonna press 5 times on the down button. Right? All the notes sound pretty nice. They go pretty well together. Now that we have our first melody, it's not done yet. We can add some stuff. So we're gonna go back to the instrument view, which is over here. I'm hovering over it with my mouse. Click it. Now we want to add a little audio effect to make it less dry. So we're gonna head over to audio effects. But George, I have way less audio effects in here. Well, that's okay. You don't need every audio effect in the world. Just pick one. I bet you guys have this one. It's called reverb. It's one of the most common types of audio effects. And it's just the same thing as with the instruments. You can drag it over, or you can simply double click it. We will put it after your instrument. It will make it a lot more like it's sounding in some type of church. See how that just made it 1,000 times more interesting? Let me just fix up this melody and make it a little bit more complicated. Another quick tip: if your music is sounding a bit boring, then it might be cool to do something with these little blue sticks, whatever color they are on your screen. If you hover over this small circle and you hold click, you can drag it down. Now what this will do is it will in most cases make your instrument a little bit quieter if you drag it down. If you drag it up, it will make it more louder. So we're gonna hear what that sounds like. Right, that was a little bit louder than what we had at first. See, this is a lot softer. Now I'm gonna do that with these notes too. I'm gonna drag it down so that it sounds a little bit more natural. It's like it's played by a real musician. How drums and rhythm in general is made is by downloading what's called sample packs. They contain a lot of sounds which are replicating a real drum kit, basically. And you don't have to spend any money. You could just go to websites like Cymatics, websites like Producer Grind, and they will have a ton of free packs for you guys to use to just start out. So hey, how fire is that? It's not like you have to start and go to the football and buy a ball, buy football shoes. You don't need to buy anything. You can just go to the store, shop online, just go on the internet, type it in, free drum kits, and you will get some pretty good results. If you downloaded it, you still need to do something to make use of it in Ableton. When you downloaded it, you just have to press on this little area right here which says add folder, and then it's gonna bring up a screen with your Windows Explorer, and you just have to navigate to the folder which are your samples. Now if that's connected, it's gonna show up in here, and you can just start using those sounds inside of Ableton. How cool is that? I even have some more cool news for you. I am dropping a free drum kit which is gonna be way better than anything I used in the beginning, and I'm just gonna make it available for everyone for free. The only thing you need to do is just support it, but more information is gonna follow. It's still in the making, so I can't expose it to you guys right now, but just know I'm working on it, and that I really want to help you beginners out there get to work, because that's what I'm all about. Probably the most common thing you will hear and know from music on the radio are claps. Claps are very regularly used in music and in pop music, so I just made some claps for you too. I'm gonna pick this fourth one right here, double click it or drag it into my instrument view, but my instrument view is gone, so I'm just gonna double tap it. What it did is it put it into an instrument track, but pay attention that it doesn't override your other instrument which you used in the first track, because that instrument is gonna be removed and replaced by this one. Make sure your mouse is standing in the channel that you actually want to put that sound in. So I want to use this first channel, and now I'm gonna click on clap. We're gonna do what we did in the beginning, hold click and drag it till where you want your opportunity to be, your section to be. Press Ctrl Shift M or Command Shift M, and now we're back again inside this view. Now a clap always is in a very simple rhythm. That's it. In most music this will be used, so just go ahead, write that in. What you now are gonna do is you're gonna play and listen to what you just experimented with. I'm gonna pick another instrument. This is that you're gonna be encountering a lot, is that you drag that sound in, you're in your notes tab, and it just doesn't sound good. Well, that's okay, you can still change the sound. That's how Ableton works. So go ahead. Oh, I like this one a lot, so I'm gonna double click it. See, we already have a beat. You might think that we're out of space here. That is just not true. So what you're gonna do is press Ctrl Shift T. That is gonna bring us up one more track. Now if I want to go inside that track, you're just gonna double click it, and now I want to add a hi-hat, which is also a super common used instrument. Now I really like this one, so I'm gonna take this one, hold click, Ctrl Shift M, back into our notes section. Rock, metal, pop, almost every genre uses this. So double click and then double click again, and then I'm just gonna press Ctrl D, Ctrl D, Ctrl D, Ctrl D. So we're gonna play it to hear what we just experimented with. See, making beats is not that hard, but it still misses bass. You feel me? I'm gonna press Ctrl Shift T again. We'll use a 808 bass. I chose this one, so I'm gonna hold click, Ctrl Shift M. This is very important. Your bass needs to be in the same notes your melody was. George, I used 100 notes in my melody. How do I know which bass note I need to use? Well, it's just the note you started off with, which is a C in this case. Now, if this doesn't sound good, in our case it sounds good, but if this doesn't sound good, what you're gonna do is you're gonna head over into audio effects, scroll down and pick a tuner. Now you can see which note your sample that you downloaded from the internet is in, which note it is. That's what it's gonna tell you. This is amazing. You don't need to learn music theory because of this simple device. So we're gonna go ahead do that. I'm just gonna delete this, don't worry about that. That's just me and my special needs, and you're just gonna play the sound by itself or with the other instruments if you want to, and it says C. So we're good. But if it doesn't good, press controls. You need to adjust this to where it sounds good. For instance, if you have a G, what you'll need to do is drag this down, scroll this down till about min7 or something. Just watch how it changes the note. And if it's landing on the note you just wrote in, then you're good to go. So now we're gonna lay a pretty simple bass pattern in there. And now you're gonna pick a G note. A G and a C note generally sound really good together, so pick that. Your beat is finished. Like, if your first beat is sounding like this, you're doing a pretty good job, to be honest. So I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you're motivated to go and learn this amazing instrument called the computer. Just have fun, and I hope I can catch you all in the next one.